Welcome to Battleground HD. Let's talk about the weapon card.
This is the weapon card. The weapon card contains all the information you need for weapons used by your force in Battleground. Each weapon on the weapon card will correlate to a weapon operated by one of the figures on the unit card. At the top of the weapon card is the demographics. So again, this is the time and place that the unit fought and these weapons were used. It's similar to the unit card. Below that, this weapon card is divided into shoot and lob weapons. In order to fire a shoot weapon, you need to take a shoot action, and it takes a lob action to fire a lob weapon. The weapon type is in the first column. Next to that is the team number. Certain weapons may take more figures to operate effectively. So an M60 has a team number of 2. And what this means is for each figure less than the team number, there'll be a +2 modifier to the attack roll when firing the M60. Next to that is setup. Again, the M60 has a setup of 1, and if the M60 is set up, it gets a -2 modifier to the attack roll. Next to that is load. Down here, the M79 has a load of 1. This means that every time the M79 fires, you have to take 1 action to reload it before it can fire again. Next to that are the range bands. And the numbers in each range band is the number in inches, the maximum range of that weapon in inches. So an M60 would have a point blank range of 2, which would give it a -4 modifier to the attack roll. Anything over 2 and up to 17 inches is effective range. Anything over 17 inches up to 36 inches is long range, which would confer a +4 modifier to the attack roll. And then anything from 36 to 75 inches, or anything over 36 to 75 inches, is extreme range, which would give a +8 modifier to the figure's attack roll. Jam is next to that, and this indicates the critical failure for when making an attack roll for that weapon. So an M16 has a critical failure threshold of 19 and 20. Next to that is the penetration for each weapon. Some weapons, like the 50 cal, are capable of penetrating light armored vehicles. Next to that are the rates of fire. Each rate of fire gives the weapon distinct advantages and disadvantages. So a standard rate of fire, which is relative to that weapon. So an M16's standard rate of fire might be single shot semi-auto, whereas an M60's rate of fire might be a 3 to 5 round burst. That's reflected in the M60 getting more attack dice. Next to that is burst, and burst again is like a 3-round burst for an M16, or it might be a 15-round burst from an M60. This is reflected in the difference in the number of attack dice you get when generated from the attack. And then some weapons are capable of full auto. If you'll notice, the M1911 does not get a full auto. It's not capable of that, but the M16, M60, and 50 cal are. And you'll notice that each one of these has a different modifier. So the higher the rate of fire, the more punishing the modifier is applied due to lack of control of the weapon. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to sacrifice accuracy for more firepower? So in an example, we have our M60 machine gun team, and they're right here, and they're going to go ahead and fire on burst. So they have a full team, so they don't suffer the team modifier. They are not set up, so they don't get the modifier for that. And they're going to fire on burst, so they get a +2. So when they make their attack roll, which was based off their fieldcraft, they'll make the attack roll and add 2 to it. And if it's equal to or less than their fieldcraft, the attack roll will be successful. If the attack roll fails, then they'll use the ARF column to determine the attack dice generated. Below that is lob weapons. Now the lob weapon stat bar shares a lot of similarities to the shoot weapon stat bar. The template and deviation column are the biggest differences. So the template column indicates what template that attack will use. So in this case, the M79 uses the grenade template. Bigger things like artillery may use the AoE template. Next to that is deviation. If the attack roll fails, this is a multiplier that you apply to that fail rate. So if you're rolling an attack roll and it fails by 4, the M79 has a deviation modifier of 1, which means you take the amount that the attack failed by times the deviation modifier, and that gives you your range in inches. So the M79 attack roll failed by 4, deviation modifier of 1. 4 times 1 is 4 inches. It will scatter somewhere 4 inches. So next to that is how you generate attack dice for a law weapon attack. Here we'll have 3 Americans clustered together and the grenade landed right here. So in this example, you have one figure under the 1 ring, which will generate a red and 2 yellows. You have one figure under the 2 ring, which will generate an orange and 2 yellows. And then you have one figure, this one right here, under the 3 ring, which will generate a yellow and 2 white. Once all the attack dice have been generated, they're pulled together and rolled as one attack pool. Down below are attributes. Attributes are any rules that may affect any of the weapons on the weapon card. In this case, the pistol has an advantage in close combat, and that's reflected here. I hope this helps you understand the weapon card. Thank you for watching this video today, and remember, in Battleground, detail matters.